his pain tolerance and perhaps rely on him more and more as the game goes on. As far as in the huddle, Dick, Mitch Trubisky tells me he's invaluable because Burton's a former quarterback, so he can help him diagnose plays and communicate with the offense. And of course, we all know Burton is that big-bodied presence in the slot, so let's see if it makes a difference for the Bears today.
All right, Jen, thank you very much. And Matt Nagy, who made the playoffs in his first year as a head coach, we'll see the Broncos get the ball first. Bears won the toss and they defer. Eddie Pinheiro will be kicking to Deontay Spencer, and this game is underway. And Pinheiro's kick will sail out of the end zone. So it's the Denver Broncos with Joe Flacco in his 12th year. And he had a pretty good game last week in defeat against Oakland. He's a veteran and he knows what he's doing. And Joe Flacco with a touchdown last week. His rating was over 100. It's pretty good for a losing quarterback.
Yeah, he was exceptional last week. Threw the ball on time with accuracy, anticipatory throws. I thought Joe Flacco, played exceptionally well. Should have probably had 4 touchdowns and 350 yards in that game.
Philip Lindsay is the running back, but he's in motion to the slot to the left. And Flacco going up the middle and completes the pass to Emmanuel Sanders. And close to a first down. Well, the Broncos will not have Jawan James. He has a knee injury. He'll be out for a couple of weeks. And so Elijah Wilkinson makes his first career start at right tackle today.
Yeah, welcome to the National Football League with your first start. You get a block Khalil Mack. Good luck. We're all counting on you. Don't screw it up. I mean, what an assignment this kid has got. He's got a chance to make himself a star today.
Second down and 1. And here is Lindsay. And Lindsay will have a first down as he gets 2 yards. Wilkinson, by the way, last year started the last 7 games at right guard, so he has experience. Looking at the Bears' defensive unit, and they're as good as it gets.
Yeah, there are so many guys, all pros at every level of this defense. I'm not only all pros, guys, this is a generational type defense. When you watch them on film, when you study them on film, it'll make your stomach turn as a former offensive lineman. They are that good at all 3 levels.
First down, play action, and the pass caught in stride by Sanders. Buster's screen. The nose tackle on the play, another first down.
Well, Emmanuel Sanders is a guy they want to get going. You've seen them go to him twice so far. He fell down probably 5 or 6 times. The footing was not good in Oakland. Really ended up costing the Broncos a game. Very upset about it. He wants to have a big night.
And a pass thrown underneath, and it is complete to Jeff Hireman, the tight end. So a very sharp beginning for the Denver Broncos offense.
This Broncos offense right now, nice pace, completions, getting the ball out quick. That is one of the keys here. Make sure you give your offensive line a chance to not only attack that line of scrimmage, but get the ball out of the quarterback's hands quick. You do not want to get in a situation where you're 3rd down and long and having Joe Flacco have to hold the football.
2nd and 3, and Hireman, the tight end, is split to the top of your picture. And here is Lindsay looking for running room. And close to the first down. Let's see where they spot the ball. Nichols came in to make the stop, about a half a yard shy of the first down. Philip Lindsay, what a great story he is, going to the Pro Bowl last year.
Yeah, as an undrafted free agent, very upset that he didn't get drafted. He's one of those speed guys, but he's unique. He can get to the edge, he can break into the house, but he runs so tough between the tackles. That's one of the things that really surprised people about Philip Lindsay. Only 190 pounds, Dick, to have that kind of toughness.
Sometimes the tough ones are the little guys. 3rd down and 1, rolling out for the pass, and it's caught, and it'll be a first down to Lindsay. He was open when he caught the pass, and so the Denver Broncos marching nicely on their first foray.
And here is that play action we talked about, getting it out to the flat, just a little flat route or a drag route, getting that defense, keeping them on their heels, getting them to go east and west. Philip Lindsay right there. This is one thing the Broncos really want to do with this new offense. Get these running backs more involved in catching the football, more involved in the passing game.
So the Broncos streamlining their way into Bear territory with a first down and good protection. And here is Hireman, the tight end, and he's tackled immediately by Eddie Jackson to limit Hireman to a short gain of 2 yards.
Does this game plan look anything like the Monday night game plan they faced against the Oakland Raiders? where the quarterback car comes out and just nickels and dimes them, picks them apart right down the football field. It's like they learned something from Monday Night Football. We don't want to get in a pushing match with the Chicago Bears. Let's go ahead and just dump it out of our quarterback's hands and move this football team down the football field.
Flacco has completed his first 5 passes on 2nd and 8. It'll be the running play to Royce Freeman, who has come in for the first time, and he'll get to the 28-yard line, bringing up 3rd down for the Broncos.
Well, we mentioned, side to side with the Broncos in the play action game, but one of the things I think they need to do, Dick, is I think they need to run directly at the teeth of this defense. The linebackers, Trevathan, the linebacker, Smith, they are like bullets. They are so fast, and what you want to do is take that speed advantage away and run the ball directly at them, right down the gullet.
3rd and 5. Flacco again escapes trouble and completes the pass, but will be shy of the first down. Royce Freeman on the reception will be 2 yards short of the first down. And Khalil Mack putting good pressure in on Flacco, very nearly had him for a sack.
Well, Khalil Mack, just one of those guys. He's up and all over the field, and you see him right there on the edge against Garrett Bowles, who's given up more holding calls in the last 2 years than any other player in the National Football League. That is a matchup. If you can get one-on-one out there, you've got an advantage of the Chicago Bears.
So the Broncos have to settle for a field goal try. Brandon McManus with a 43-yard attempt. And the kick is good. So the Denver Broncos and Joe Flacco making his home debut in the orange and blue get 3 points out of it. 3-0 Denver. Now let's see what the Chicago Bear offense can do coming out after their subpar performance against Green Bay in the opener. There's a man with something to prove. Joe Flacco coming over from the Baltimore Ravens. And a very sharp first drive. Field goal after a 10-play, 50-yard march was halted by the Bear defense, and Flacco was perfect in the process.
6 for 6, and what do they call that? Take what the defense gives you. He did that underneath that entire drive. Cordero
Patterson is deep, and the ball is deeper, and the Bears will start from the 25-yard line. And Mitch Trubisky had the 3rd lowest rating ever under Matt Nagy. Struggled in the first game, and of course it kind of overshadowed the outstanding defensive performance by the Bears. But it wasn't just that. Play calling, what did Nagy say about that?
Listen, I know everybody feels in Chicago like, oh no, Chicken Little, the sky has fallen, but just calm down. There's a process. Matt Nagy did no favors, not running the football. It's going to be different today.
David Montgomery lines up as the running back and gets the call and is knocked back to a fare thee well by Bradley Chubb. So let's look at the Bears offense, and as we've already mentioned, Trey Burton, who's been out with a groin injury, hasn't played a long while because of the sports hernia, in the lineup to start the game.
Yeah, Allen Robinson has developed himself after the ACL injury coming back last year, and I'm telling you what, he's developed himself into one of the top fleet receivers that nobody talks about. The consummate professional, an excellent route runner, tough at the point of attack. He'll do anything that's asked of him, not your typical diva wide receiver. This guy's a football player.
2nd down and 10. And again, this time they go to Tariq Cohen. Cohen did not have any official carries in the first game against the Packers. Led the team with 8 catches. Take a look at the Broncos defense, and again they're without Bryce Callahan, one of their cornerbacks. Todd Davis, one of their inside backers, still missing.
Yeah, but they do have Von Miller. Von Miller, one of the great pass rushers of our generation. And let me tell you something. 3rd down and 9+ is not something you want to be in as an offense, especially with 58 Von Miller and 55 Bradley Chubb coming off the edge, giving great pressure.
Those are 2 guys the Bears are really concerned about. 3rd down and 9. They spread the offense, and Trubisky on the run lofts one down the field, and Tariq Cohen is there, and Tariq Cohen is knocked away, and Justin Simmons made a terrific play on Cohen, who initially had beat the defender.
Well, he was down deep. Great job. Mitch Trubisky extended the play, threatening the line of scrimmage. So all of a sudden, as a defender, that's your eyes get big, right? And now here we go, adjust. Tariq Cohen was just on an over route. You see him adjust, ball right in the breadbasket. I don't know, it looked like Simmons got his hand in there right there last second, separates, gets his hand right between Cohen's hands and separates that football. What that is, you can't teach that. That's just instinctual, great move by Justin Simmons.
3 and out for the Bears, and Pat O'Donnell kicking to Deontay Spencer. Good hang time there at the 24, and a pretty decent return as Cordaro Patterson dragged him out of bounds very close to what could be perceived as a horse collar, and they get Patterson away from the play.
That was more of a head collar than it was a horse collar, for crying out loud. Great start for the Broncos defense. Beautiful play, defending the run and defending the pass. Nice start for the Broncos.
Broncos offensive coordinator Rich Scangarello, first time he's a play caller in the National Football League. Broncos will start from the 31-yard line. Play fake, and the pass thrown quickly into the line to Noah Fant, and a flag is down. Fant, the rookie tight end from Iowa.
They really
kind of a rushed play.
Yeah, they really need to pick this flag up. I mean, come on, it's a tackle. It's not a quarterback. It's a tackle on a football player.
Adrian Hill, 10th season in the NFL, first as a referee.
And they're having a discussion right now, and I mean, that's a wonderful play by Floyd, Leonard Floyd. And you know what? I mean, he did pick him up, but that wasn't a full-out body slam. I hope they figure this out, because at some point you still have to let these guys play football. It's a contact sport.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, number 94. That 15-yard penalty will be forced from the dead ball spot. Automatic first down.
Well, they do call it on Leonard Floyd, and
now I understand if this is a quarterback, but here's Leonard Floyd. Now watch him. So just to the tight end, he throws him down. He takes his hand out. That is supposed to be textbook. Once he takes his hand out, that should be picked up. That should not be a flag on throwing Fant down. I think it's a ridiculous call.
I agree with you. They lost 4 yards, but got 15 on the penalty. And on first down, Lindsey doesn't get much. Had a head of steam, but ran into defenders led by Nichols. In time for a game break, let's check in with Carissa Thompson.
Thank you, Dick. Raiders coming off that win against the Broncos, up 3-0 against Kansas City win. Derek Carr finds Tyrell Williams for this 4-yard score. Raiders up 10-0. Dick, Mark, and Jen.
Well, there's a surprise right there.
Raiders are much better. They're a much improved football team. John Gruden, it's not like he forgot how to coach because he went and did TV for a while.
Maybe all the noise went away for them, and now they're settling down to play football. Here is Lindsey, and Lindsey will get the ball out to the 47-yard line, still leave him about 5 or 6 yards shy of the first down. Eddie Goldman, and Goldman was a question mark coming into the game with an oblique, suffered in a workout this week. Well,
they're using pace right now. This is the altitude, no huddle, line right up. They just had an inside run.
3rd down and 5. And Flacco completes to Hireman, will be short of the first down by 2 yards. And another good play that time made by Eddie Jackson.
Well, you really want to get this. There's Hireman right there. You want to get this out in front of Hireman. Now watch him have to turn his body. Right here, if it's out in front, it's just a little bit behind. If it's at his hands right here, so he doesn't have to turn his body that way, he may be able to fight for that first down. But nice defensive play there.
Eddie Jackson saved the first down, so Colby Wadman will be kicking it away, and Tariq Cohen standing inside the 10. High kick, fair catch, and Cohen on the 8-yard line. So Eddie Jackson, an all-pro who had 6 interceptions last year, and this defense can hit, and they're smart.
Well, the Chicago Bears offense was, well, you can see what Matt Nagy said, ridiculous, unacceptable, every right to boo. One of the things they have to do is sustain a drive, even if it's just one first down. because the altitude and the heat, that defense has already played way too many plays. They've got to take a break there.
From the 14-yard line, and it's David Montgomery, and the play selection was a big factor there. Penalty flag is down. The Bears ran it 15 times and passed 45 against Green Bay, and that's not a good ratio at all.
Holding defense. Number 95. That 5-yard penalty will be added to the result of the play. Automatic first down.
First down. Derek Wolfe called for holding. For more on the Bears offense, let's check in with Jen Halligan.
Dick, Mitch Trubisky tells me this offense is trying to hit the reset button in two ways. First, they have shrank their offensive game plan down. They have much fewer options that they hope they can execute more freely. Plus, they're hoping Nagy can get the call in sooner so they have more time to communicate and diagnose before the snap.
All right, Jen. And a first down at the 22. Trubisky completes the pass to Taylor Gabriel, and he spins his way to a first down. Good move by Gabriel, tackled by Isaac Yadam.
Nice little cut down here on the bottom. Get Bradley Chubb's hands down. That's just a quick out. Just a little stick route on the outside or an out route on the outside. And look at this. Nice mechanics over that front leg. Drive that football to the outside shoulder of your receiver. That's exactly the kind of rhythm you want to get your quarterback in, who really struggled Thursday night to open up the season.
Gain of 12, out to the 33, and here is Cordero Patterson, kind of a gadget player for the Bears, returns kick, and he can take direct snaps and do it all. And that time, Cordero Patterson out of bounds, picking up 3.
You know, that side-to-side Von Miller, we think of Von Miller as a pass rusher, but even though he didn't have a sack last week, Vic Fangio said he played a great game. He was really good in the run game.
Mike Davis in the game for the first time at running back, and on the fade out, the pass is caught by Ben Braunecker, tight end. Burton, Shaheen, Braunecker, and Sowell are the 4 tight ends lined up today for the Chicago Bears, a gain of 7 yards. And again, the play selection last week against the Green Bay Packers, they ran the ball well on that early series and then kind of gave up on it.
This right here, 15 rushes, that is a recipe to lose 100% of the time.
First down on the 43. Trubisky. And the pass is broken up nicely by Chris Harris, intended for Allen Robinson, and that's a matchup we'll see all day.
One-on-one all day long. And sitting in the meetings, Matt Nagy said, I know everybody wants to talk about Vic Fangio being old school, and he's not going to change. Here's a change right off the bat. 25 shadowing 12. Chris Harris Jr. on their best receiver all day long. Allen Robinson, mano-a-mano in the slot. I got you. Outside the numbers, I got you. It's going to be an all-day-long battle.
Second down and 10. Here is Montgomery. Eludes a tackle behind the line of scrimmage, and a great run by Montgomery to the outside. Third-round pick out of Iowa State and primed to be the lead back for this team as time goes on. Nelson on the tackle, gain of 7.
Yeah, they really like the kid. Just a delayed draw right here. Look at the vision. Jump cut. Get outside the tackle and then get down the sideline right there. I like the finish, right? Don't just step out of bounds. You're a young guy. Finish that run. Punish those defenders so the next time they have to cover a pass, maybe they're not quite right.
Well, they got balance here, but they need 3 yards on third down and 3. And they go to Montgomery, and he'll have the first down, protecting the football. And a Bronco trying to reach and get it cannot. So 2 nifty runs by David Montgomery. That for 9 yards and a first down for Chicago.
Montgomery, I love this. Look at the little patience in here. He just kind of hangs out there right there, gets that ball, lets his big hog mollies right there. Look at that big mosh pit. Just finds a little crease in there, hides behind those guys, keeps those legs pumping. That's the kind of run they need out of Montgomery, and they've got to drive together like we said. Let's keep that defense fresh, keep them off the field. They've had a couple of drives they've had to, battle through. Now it's time for the offense to shine.
Bears on the Bronco 41. And here's Mike Davis, the former Seahawk, and he'll be knocked back for a loss. Good defensive play by Derek Wolfe, and a loss of 2.
Yeah, we like to call that stacking a guy. And what that means by Derek Wolfe right there, look at him. He's just mean. I mean, mad mugging right there. Stacking a guy means get both hands on his chest, stand him up, watch where that back goes, then shed him late, make a tackle. It can't be done any better than that. And I'll tell you what, Derek Wolfe, you see Derek Wolfe in the street, you know what? Usually you turn the other way because he's just that frightening looking.
Well, you've seen him up close.
Yeah, and he makes me glad I retired a long time ago is what he makes me.
2nd down and 12. Timeout called by the Bears. We'll be back. After 4 years as the Bears defensive coordinator, Vic Fangio at 61. Now a head coach, second game as Broncos lead man and matching wits with Matt Nagy, who he worked for last year. Bears went 3 and out on their first possession. They've marched 8 plays on 44 yards here. Faces 2nd and 12 on the Denver 43. Broncos lead 3-0 on an opening field goal. And here is Tariq Cohen. And Cohen dives inside the 40-yard line, where Kareem Jackson making the stop, bringing up 3rd down.
Kareem Jackson's done a tremendous job coming over from the Houston Texans. Was really kind of an outside corner, has moved to the safety and the nickel position, and we've seen him down in the box being a smaller guy, a guy that can play multiple positions. Like I said, safety, corner, kind of almost playing in the nickel. You almost have this kind of outside linebacker aspect to your game, and he's made several tackles so far today. 3rd
down play, crowd in full throat here. Trubisky getting time, and his pass on the out is caught, and Adam Shaheen will have a 1st down, and the collision there at the sideline between Shaheen and Justin Simmons, a gain of 9 yards, and they move the chains.
Well, this is one thing that you cannot have. Here's Yadam down here in the bottom. You're just a flat defender, okay? So here you go to the flat. Here's Shaheen. You got to come up and make that tackle. You can't study your feet, go through the outside leg of that player and take him down. They attacked him last week on Monday night in Oakland. They seem to be attacking him again.
And he's already missed 2 tackles in this game, resulting in 1st downs. And here's the inside handoff to David Montgomery, and stuffing the middle after a gain of about a half a yard is Shelby Harris. Pickup of 1 with under a half a minute remaining in the 1st quarter.
Well, here's what I like right now. Yeah, that wasn't a successful play. You got about a half a yard. But what I like is the attitude, and I like the commitment to really be good in the play action, to give your quarterback a break and to have him play as successfully as possible. That guy, Matt Nagy, knows, hey, I've got to run the ball. And sometimes you have to applaud a half-yard gain or a 2-yard gain as long as it's nasty, as long as you get dirty in that mosh pit.
Well, the Bears have rushed twice as much as they passed, but the Broncos have the lead 3-0 in week 2 of the NFL campaign. Second quarter with the Broncos leading the Bears 3-0 as we welcome you to Empower Field at Mile High here in Denver. Empower, a new sponsor of this beautiful stadium here, and the home opener for the Denver Broncos, who have won 17 of 18 in this stadium, and this is 60th year. Pressure on Vic Fangio? I don't know about that.
Maybe a little bit.
2nd down and 9. Dick Stockton along with Mark Schlereth and Jennifer Hale. 2nd and 9 at the 29. 2 running backs, Mike Davis and David Montgomery, are both in the backfield, and the screen pass is caught by Montgomery, and Montgomery will be stopped about 2 yards short of the 1st down, and it'll be 3rd and short coming up for the Bears.
I think one of the things that you really understand when you study the Broncos on film, you look at the tape, one of the issues they've had is covering receivers underneath, both tight ends and backs. So if you're a Chicago Bears fan, you want to see the Bears do exactly that. Attack that underneath coverage, get after those linebackers as they did with the screen pass right there.
3rd down and 3. And the handoff is to Montgomery, and he'll be stopped for no gain, led by Derek Wolfe. Josie Jewell also involved on the play, and 4th down coming up for the Bears.
Big Derek Wolfe right here. Watch him tie up this whole offensive line. You're going to get the double team in there. He gets on both center and guard, allows the linebackers to flow over the top. When you get that kind of constriction, it doesn't allow that offensive line to get to that second level being the linebackers, Josie Jewell over the top to make it.
Eddie Pinheiro with a 40-yard attempt. Had won a try last week and was good from 38 yards. And this is his second try. And the kick is good, so Eddie Pinheiro 2 for 2. And Bear fans everywhere are breathing easier after that tremendous, I would say, an Olympic contest.
They're going to name a street after him in Chicago. He keeps kicking like that.
Good draw on that kick by Pinheiro to tie the game at 3-3. 14-play drive by the Bears using 7.5 minutes of the clock, giving their defense a good breather on the sideline in this altitude. Longest drive of the season as far as the number of plays for Matt Nagy's team. And Deontay Spencer is back deep for Pinheiro's kick. And both of his kicks have gone out of the end zone.
So you ask yourself, how do you contain number 52, Khalil Mack? How about the quick passing game? 1,001, 1,002, out. 1,001, 1,002, out. That's one way to do it. And then if you got to hold on to it, step in the pocket, step up in the pocket, get rid of the ball, avoid the sack. Doing a nice job right now on one of the best players in the National Football League. That's Khalil Mack.
Broncos begin from the 25. Joe Flacco has been perfect so far, 8 for 8, hitting 5 different receivers. And the handoff is to Royce Freeman with a great run and a first down. Freeman, who was the leading rusher last week against Oakland with 56 yards, is tackled by Danny Trevathan, the former Bronco.
I'm going to call this a picket fence. You're going to take advantage of somebody coming up the field right now with a tight end in motion, and then that creates different levels. There's a little shot, the running back Freeman going right through that hole as you got the defense on 2 separate levels with that picket fence play. That's a wham play on the outside.
12-yard gain. And the quick to the outside to Emmanuel Sanders. He gets a few before he's pushed out of bounds.
I'm telling you, Emmanuel Sanders, Monday Night Football, fell down about 6 times. He should have had at least 3 touchdowns in that game. He was beside himself. Said he changed his cleats 3 times. This guy has worked so hard. He's 7 months removed from 2 surgeries, an ankle surgery and an Achilles tendon surgery. Amazing.
It is truly amazing that he got back.
Said he worked 2-a-days starting about June. Just really busted his hump to get back here for this football team.
And did catch it. Touchdown throw. Play action for Flacco getting the pass rush, and down he goes, and it's Khalil Mack with the sack. He had none last week, but was a presence up front for other people. Gets his first sack of the year.
All right, so I'm going to tell you, this is one thing you don't want to do. You don't want to put your rookie tight end on this guy right here. 52, note to self, Rich Scangarello. That's not a recipe to win football games. There's the first of the year for Khalil Mack, and I'm telling you what, he'll have 12 if you put that matchup out there, you know, another 11 times. That was tough. That was math I just did. That's not my strong suit.
Well, you're not bad at it. Loss of 9 yards. You don't have a rookie tight end keeping Mack out of there. And Flacco, who's big enough, gets the pass off to Philip Lindsay, and here's Lindsay doing the rest with his run after the catch, gets into Bear territory and is out of bounds at the Chicago 49. And a gain of 19 yards on a nifty screen pass. Flacco was under pressure there.
There's a reason they call him Joe Cool. He's just back there. Pressure. Ha! I laugh in the face of pressure. Scrambling around, and I don't mean scrambling like scrambling. I mean step up in the pocket, people around you knowing, like instantly knowing where your outlet is. Philip Lindsay right there. He didn't look. He just knew Lindsay was out to his right, dumps him the ball, lets Lindsay do the rest.
Flacco said he's faced many tough defenses in the past. His key, stay patient and don't lose your cool. Lindsay this time is tackled. Maybe a loss on the play by Roquan Smith. And for a game break, let's check in with Carissa Thompson. Big news in L.A., Carissa.
That's right. Bad news for Saints fans, Dick, as Drew Brees left the game after Aaron Darnold hit his throwing hand on this pass attempt. Teddy Bridgewater now in at quarterback as the Saints trail 3-0. Dick, Mark, and Jen.
Boy, people talk about predictions. Tell me who's going to stay healthy, especially at the quarterback position, right?
That's a great call.
Second down and 10. Royce Freeman picks up a few, and it was Akeem Hicks who brought him down after picking up a pair.
Akeem Hicks doesn't get nearly enough credit for the football player he is. I mean, he just does all the dirty work right here. There's Akeem Hicks, big-bodied guy, really plays well with his hands, and a great guy, not only tying up double teams, letting those outside linebackers, those inside linebackers flow, but he's a guy that can shed a block, make a tackle, as you saw there.
Had one of the 5 sacks for the Bears against Green Bay in the opener. 3rd down and 8. Here comes the blitz, and Flacco gets hit as he lets go of it, and the pass is incomplete. Storming in were the Bears defense, and that's the first incomplete pass thrown by Joe Flacco, and it was Danny Trevathan who came in strong, member of the Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl 50 for these Denver Broncos.
Well, they've got guys coming here, guys coming here. I mean, they're just bringing, we like to call this the kitchen sink, right? Just line everybody up. You're in straight man coverage across the board. We've got more rushers than you have blockers. We're going to get to your quarterback before you get the ball out.
Kobe Wadman will be kicking from his 40. Tariq Cohen, fair catch at about the 10-yard line. So the Bears will have a long way to go here in this 3-3 game. Here in the second quarter at Mile High. Moment of silence before the game for Pat Bowlen, who died in June at the age of 75 and enshrined in the Hall of Fame. Pat Bowlen, owner, one of the best, and you know as well as anyone, Mark.
Had immense care for his community, for his football team, and for his players. And I'm telling you, you know, one of the moments for me is every Monday after a game, you're in the training room, you're getting treatment. Pat Bowlen came through. He loved on you. He asked you how you were doing. He genuinely cared for his football team. Like I said, his community. I love Pat Bowlen. He is just one of the wonderful, wonderful people I've ever had the opportunity to work for and to be friends with.
First starting field position for the Bears, the 10-yard line. Here's Montgomery, and the rookie gets something when it looked like he had nothing. Brings it out for a 4-yard pickup. Pat Bowlen, by the way, reached the Super Bowl with 4 different head coaches. Says something about his mentorship and leadership here.
Yeah, and he just, like, that was the standard. Super Bowl or bust. And he always believed it, and he did everything in his power to give his coaches and his football team that opportunity.
Second down and 6. Tariq Cohen now lines up in the backfield. And he gets the handoff and gets the first down. Good run by Tariq Cohen as he gets it out to the 23-yard line before Justin Simmons brings him down. A good 9-yard pickup.
And I'm telling, you know, here's something that Vic Fangio told us when we met with him. Listen, he goes, yes, statistically, we defended the run, but we didn't defend the run. Like, there was a lot of mosh pit runs. We didn't get off. We were soft.
Throwing underneath, and you pointed out that this was effective for both teams. Allen Robinson makes the play. That's his second catch of the game. And looking at the play selection, a lot more balanced in this game than it was in the opener. There you see 15 runs last week. And here's Tariq Cohen escaping trouble and gets out of bounds after a good run after the catch. They're beating with underneath plays. Simmons pushes him out of bounds, but not before Cohen gets 16.
When you wear on people and you lean on people in the running game, you know what ends up happening to you? you lose people in the passing game, in the screen game. And that's right there what happened to the Broncos. Lost sight of Cohen, and here he is on the outside, little push in the back right there. That's a good no call. I'm not, one of those guys that's gonna beg for calls. It's not that way, but that running game, and when Vic Fangio said soft, my ears perked up, because that's the dirtiest four-letter word in football.
First down, and the pass is caught by Adam Shaheen as the Bears go with two tight ends as Burton and Shaheen lined up on that occasion, and a 9-yard gain here. So right now Mitch Trubisky is picking his way down the field with his Bears offense.
And I think one of the things they really wanted to focus on, and Mitch Trubisky has the kind of relationship with his head coach Matt Nagy, wanted to get out of the pocket, wanted to get his eyes outside so he could see his receivers, more of a sight thrower in that situation. Now you saw a screen backed up with a tight end in the flat right there. That's an easy read and an easy throw for Mitch Trubisky, getting him in a rhythm.
Now it's Montgomery back in there, and Montgomery needing 1 yard, has enough for the first down. Tackled from behind, eating up the clock as they did the last time when the Bears got a field goal, chewed up 7.5 minutes, and this time a gain of 6 yards.
And I told you, Vic Fangio in our meeting said soft. Soft, those in a football locker room, those are fighting words. You call me soft and we're gonna go to fisticuffs. That's the way it is. And he said his defense, just a little soft on the run, just did not control line of scrimmage. And right now, they're getting pushed back 4, 5, 6 yards at a time.
Montgomery's already carried more in this game than he did in the last contest. Play fake for Trubisky, looking downfield, and wide open, and the pass is overthrown Taylor Gabriel. He had a shot with Gabriel downfield, incomplete. And that will bring up second down.
That's just one where your eyes get the size of saucers. If you're Mitch Trubisky, you see a guy that sneak out there right there in Gabriel, he's just so wide open. You're like, I cannot believe nobody's covering him. Busted assignment coverage right there. And I'm telling you, you get so excited, you get a little amped, your energy gets up, and then you just chuck one over the head of your intended receiver.
It happens.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Second and 10 on the 42 of Denver. And here is the keeper by Trubisky. And the defense hesitated ever so slightly, and 2 yards shy of the first down, picking up 8 is Trubisky.
Well, right here at the junction point, here comes Trubisky. Now, great job here, understanding what he can get and get himself down.
And here is the handoff to Mike Davis, and Davis will be stopped short of the first down. And fourth down coming up, so they tried to hurry up offense there and try to get a quick one with Mike Davis, and they couldn't. And now they will go for it on fourth down. Fourth down and a long one. Almost 2. And the Broncos are not going to be fooled, and the Bears will call their second timeout of this first half.
Timeout, Chicago.
That was a long one, by the way.
Obviously trying to get them to jump off sides didn't work. Well coached by the Broncos. They knew exactly what Chicago was up to.
Well, start Saturday strong this week with the big noon Saturday game of the week as Shea Patterson and number 10 Michigan take on Jonathan Taylor at number 14 Wisconsin. It all starts with the big noon kickoff pregame show at 11 Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Quite a Big Ten battle next week.
Yeah, I like that. You know, that's kind of old school. Those are kind of like O-line U right there with Wisconsin and Michigan. Love it.
52-yard try by Pinheiro, who kicked one earlier from 40 yards. And the kick is good. They love him even more now in the Windy City as Eddie Pinheiro connects on a 52-yard field goal to give the Bears a 6-3 lead.
Mayor of Chicago, Dick. There he is, Eddie Pinheiro.
Bears with 2 field goals in their last 2 possessions to take the lead, and they've used up about 12 minutes of time, which is a boon to their defensive unit right now as Pinheiro gets set to kick off to Spencer back deep for Denver. So the kicker not only doing the job as far as the placements, but kicking off as well. So a man who would know, 2 bowls, 2-time Super Bowl champion. What's it like playing here?
Well, this is what greets you right here. You walk out of the visitors' locker room. Welcome to Mile High City. Elevation 5280 above sea level. They want to warn you all the time. Altitude sickness, man. Drink your water. Doesn't matter your level of fitness. That's what they want to do. They want to get that in your brain.
The visiting team comes out and sees that sign.
That's right where they are.
1st and 10 at the 25 for the Broncos. Flacco getting pressure and completes the pass to Sanders. Jukes one defender. Sanders past the 30 and will be halted about 3 yards shy of the first down. Danny Trevathan, big player there. Gain of 8. Time for a game break. Let's check in again with Carissa Thompson. Carissa.
Thanks, Dick. Chiefs trailing 10-7 in Oakland when Patrick Mahomes caps off a 14-play, 95-yard drive with this 42-yard touchdown pass to Nicole Hardman. Chiefs up 14-10. Dick, Mark, and Jen.
Thank you. Sanders with 4 catches now. Here's the AFC West with the Broncos, the only team that didn't get a win in the opening weekend. Here's Lindsey. Philip Lindsey has running room off to the left, makes the most of it, and once again gets into Bear territory as Clinton-Dix knocks him out of bounds, but not before he gets to the 47th flag way back at the 35. So the 19-yard gain could very well be nullified as the Broncos are moving back.
Yeah, you can always tell when the offensive team saunters back.
Holding offense. Number 72. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Made 2nd down.
That was the left tackle, Garrett Bowles, holding on the play.
Garrett Bowles is a guy that has had 12 holding calls the last 2 years, and here he comes off, getting to the 2nd level, Roquan Smith, and look at both hands outside the shoulders. It doesn't affect the play. Like, don't grab on. That play is so wide, you have to understand what you're blocking and what your assignment is and where they're trying to run. That player had no effect on that play.
And those holding penalties are the most in the NFL the last 2 years. And there is a pass complete to Royce Freeman. And Freeman may have the first down and will to the 36-yard line. Smith covering the pass play, but 10 yards for Denver, and they move the chains.
And here's Bowles against Mack right here. It's actually a pretty good set, but you know, again, arm wrapped around him. Mack is complaining right now. He's going to get another call.
First down, and the receiver falls down. Cortland Sutton, and they're going to throw the flag now to see whether he was knocked down by Prince Amukamara. First time that Sutton has been targeted today by the quarterback Flacco.
A lot of hand fighting both ways there.
Pass interference, defense. Number 20. Ball will be advanced to the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Kind of a subtle push, if anything.
Well, there was a good chuck inside that 5 yards, so it was great hands there. But after they exited that 5-yard area, there was still some contact there. But again, you know, I'm one of those guys. I like to err on the side of let guys play. But there was just a little too much beyond that 5 yards, and they saw it. I think the officials saw it from the initial chuck, the aggressiveness of Amukamara, and I think that extended past that 5 yards, why they ended up throwing that flag.
9-yard penalty, so right now they're on the 45 of the Broncos, their own 45. Royce Freeman with the carry, getting close to midfield and picking up 4 yards, bringing up second down. Well, the new defensive coordinator, Chuck Pagano, native of Boulder, Colorado, loves coming back here. And after being an NFL consultant for a year, back in action as a coach. And the pass on the out, complete again. They've gone to Emmanuel Sanders on that very pattern countless times today, Mark.
Yeah, and as far as Chuck Pagano said, talking to him yesterday, I was like, hey, man, this reminds me of those teams like in the 90s, like the Eagles. Remember Jerome Pitts and Clyde Simmons and, Mike Pitts and Jerome Brown and Clyde Simmons and Reggie White. And he's like, this is a generational type defense. My job here as the coordinator, don't screw it up because we've got the players to do something special.
That's Prince Amukamara shaken up for the Bears. Pagano interviewed for the head coaching job here in Denver, the job that, of course, went to Vic Fangio. But Amukamara, in his 9th year, former New York Giant, really has accelerated his play since coming to Chicago.
It's amazing what happens to you when expectations change. First-round draft choice for the Giants, big expectations. Now you come to Chicago, less expectations because you've got Khalil Mack, Roquan Smith, Eddie Jackson, Hicks. You've got those players, so the expectations drop a little bit. The spotlight gets off you, and you're just allowed to be free, just to play football, and he has really excelled as a Chicago Bear.
And playing part of a premier defensive unit. So Buster Screen, former Jet, who had been the nickelback, now moves into the starting lineup. And Duke Shelley, rookie from Kansas State, also in the defensive backfield. And a 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line for the Broncos, who trail the Bears 6-3. Philip Lindsay has had success going outside. Flag, 2 of them are thrown down. And Lindsay barely gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard. Isaiah Irving was one of the players involved in there defensively for the Bears.
Holding offense. Number 72. 10-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Well, the second holding penalty called against Garrett Bowles, the left tackle.
Well, as the angles change, you have to understand the back is on the outside, both hands on the outside. Right here, you're going to have to let go. But, you take them to the ground, you drive them to, again, that's one of those things that if you can't understand why they're calling that, then you don't understand the game. And if that's the case, then we need to put somebody in who does understand the game. You cannot do that in this league. You'll get called 100% of the time.
Well, they have the backup right tackle Elijah Wilkinson for Jawan James in this game. And this pass thrown underneath for Emmanuel Sanders. Nowhere to go, and he is put down. And that was Danny Trevathan. Trevathan with the Broncos for 4 years, member of their Super Bowl 50 championship team, now wearing the orange and blue of the Bears.
The last time he played here, Danny Trevathan, they won an AFC championship against the New England Patriots, I believe, right here on this field. So a little bit of a homecoming for Danny Trevathan, and you know what? He wants to shine.
2nd down and 16, the 2-minute warning coming up here. It's been a battle of field goal kickers in this one, with the Bears having the edge. 2 minutes to play in the first half, and the Broncos on the Bear 47 have a 2nd down and 16. Prince Amukamara back in the game at corner for Chicago. 2nd and long. Pass is tipped. And Aaron Lynch storming in on Flacco, got a piece of it, bringing up 3rd and 16.
Aaron Lynch coming off the edge right there. In the quick passing game, if you can't get to it, understand the timing of the route concept here, and just get your hands up. Does a good job of getting his hands up, knocking down that ball. Now 3rd down and long. Can you get yourself some yardage to give yourself an opportunity to kick a field goal, or punt them and keep them deep?
3rd and 16, and Flacco getting a pass rush, and this pass incomplete. And Jackson very nearly had a chance at it. It was intended for Emmanuel Sanders, who leads the Bronx with 6 receptions thus far. 4th down coming up.
Joe Flacco right here. He and Emmanuel certainly not on the same page, because
That was an errant throw. He expected Emmanuel to sit down a little sooner than that. Emmanuel kept running through the zone. Can't run yourself into coverage. That's just a miscommunication between quarterback and wide receiver.
Cortland Sutton, who had 7 catches for 120 yards against Oakland, has not caught a pass here in the first half. Aiming for the sidelines, and a fair catch by Cohen inside the 15. And we'll be right back after this message from Geico. And having an outstanding first half for the Bears, talking to their trainer on the sideline. Meanwhile, Chicago with only 1 timeout remaining, and Mitch Trubisky has completed 7 of 10 passes for 62 yards to 6 different receivers. Cohen is to his right, and the quick pass to Anthony Miller. Miller will get a couple of yards. First time he's touched the ball. Hasn't been 100% and had only 15 snaps in the opening game. Gain of 2 yards.
He's one of those real dynamic receivers they have, and you know, it takes time, especially when you've had some injury history, because the offense is always evolving. Things are always changing, and when you miss time, it's not only the physical reps, but it's the mental reps, it's the meeting time. So they're really working him, hoping he gets himself going, because he's a dynamic young player.
Second down and 8, and here's Cohen right up the middle, and Tariq Cohen getting it out to the 22. Derek Wolfe brings him down, and a pickup of 5.
Derek Wolfe is just dominating the line of scrimmage right now. He is just dispensing justice, stacking guys, both hands inside, extending his arms, getting himself away from the blocker, and then just shedding, putting his nose on the ball carrier and bringing him down.
3rd down and 3, and the Bronco fans cheering for a stop here. Trubisky going up on top and overthrows David Montgomery, the running back, downfield. Showed good speed in getting downfield, and 4th down coming up, and coming in to punt will be Pat O'Donnell.
Here's the problem with that. All right, that's the 3rd down play. You have 52 seconds. You throw the deep ball, you get one-on-one, and I get the one-on-one matchup with the linebacker, but you stop the clock. You know, keep the clock moving here. Now the Broncos 3 timeouts, all kinds of time. They're going to get the ball in good field position off the punt.
Broncos looking for reasonable field position here. They still have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. And Deontay Spencer going across the field, and will have to pick it up at the 5-yard line. And they won't have good field position by any stretch of the imagination. They'll be inside the 15. And right now, let's check in with Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles.
Coming up on the Visa Halftime, it is week 2, which, if my math is correct, means it should be twice as good as week 1, right? We'll add up all the highlights, plus have a divisional matchup between the Chiefs and Raiders as they try to multiply their win total. We'll sum it up for you coming up on the Visa Halftime.
All right, we'll join Kurt and the gang coming up shortly.
Boy, was I wrong on that, right?
Nope.
I mean, like, you're supposed to have good field position, but if you punt 175 yards, for crying out loud.
To the opposite side of the field,
right.
To boot. 1st down. And this pass incomplete. Deshaun Hamilton, the intended receiver. Now 36 seconds remaining. So the Broncos may have 3 timeouts left, but the clock really working against them in an effort to try to at least get in field goal position to tie it before intermission.
And that's some of the beauty of the Chicago Bears, regardless of backups or starters, their ability to have that speed to break on football, to break on the football and break up those passes. You saw it with Bush right there.
Royce Freeman, and he'll be tackled quickly by Akeem Hicks. And the clock stops. Flag is down at 32 seconds.
Holding offense, number 72. That penalty is declined. 3rd down.
And the crowd letting Garrett Bowles know how they feel about his 3rd holding penalty here in this first half.
They get another holding call here. and they're going to be snapping this ball from inside the locker room, for crying out loud. There it is, the bear hug. I mean, and then on top of it, you take the guy to the ground. Don't shake your head. Don't shake your head, because you're grabbing people and you're tackling people. We'll move you to defense if you continue to tackle people like that.
3rd down and 10. If you're out there coaching, you might do just that. Here's Freeman again with the run, and he's going to be wrestled down at the 20-yard line. And a timeout called by the Broncos. 4th down will be coming up. Well, in honor of its 100th season, the NFL is encouraging fans to join players, teams, and the NFL family in a year-long volunteer initiative called Huddle for 100. Choose a cause, volunteer 100 minutes of your time, and help shape what your community will look like for the next 100 years. Together we can reach 100 million minutes, so visit NFL.com/huddle for 100 to track your minutes and get rewarded. It was the Bears that called a timeout there last with 4th and 3 and a chance to get their hands on the ball, and maybe they can get some more points. Tariq Cohen's back deep. Wadman. Good kick. Cohen at the 29. And brought down at the 35. With 13 seconds remaining in the half. Want to remind you, coming up, the Visa halftime report. Early games and the big AFC West battle, the traditional battle. Kansas City and Oakland. Raiders and Chiefs. Meanwhile, Vic Fangio in his first home game as head coach of the Broncos, 61 years old. 20 years older than Matt Nagy.
I'm really happy for Vic Fangio getting his first opportunity. This guy has been coaching for 40 years. It's amazing, because he's an outstanding coach, getting that first opportunity to coach, be a head coach in the National Football League.
He never chased jobs. Here is Trubisky, and has the ball knocked away.
You better get on that. Better get on that.
It was behind the line of scrimmage, so it's a free ball. And it was Bradley Chubb who stormed in and got a piece of that.
It went forward, so it was considered an incomplete pass, but it was close. And that's one of those things, you have got to get on that ball, because if it goes behind the line of scrimmage, behind from where the quarterback threw it, right here, which is really close. I mean, he threw it right from his hand. If point A to point B is behind, then that's a lateral, and that would have been a free ball.
It was not touched by Chubb. Just came out of the right hand of Trubisky.
Denver, their first.
So the Broncos call their first timeout. And the matching of wits for timeouts in the last few seconds between Nagy and Vic Fangio. 9 seconds on the clock.
And here's the thing, to be critical of Matt Nagy, you've got 13 seconds, you've got no timeouts. You're not putting a drive together here. Take a knee, you're up 6-3, go in the locker room, you've defeated the altitude, you've played well against an outstanding defense, you've put 2 long drives together. Don't risk it. That particular play selection, that's just a dumb play selection, and you can't have that.
2nd down and 10. Trips to the left for the Bears. Well, here's the pass up the middle, and it's going to be a first down to Braunecker. And that will do it. Won't be able to get another play off. Bears had no timeouts remaining, and that will do it for the first half. Battle of field goal kickers, and the Bears are happy they have one. 52-yard field goal, giving them a 6-3 lead at halftime over the Broncos. And we now go to Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles for the Visa halftime, which starts now.
Oh, can't stop me now. Oh, can't stop me now.
And that was today's game flow, brought to you by Progressive. 6-3, the Bears are leading the Denver Broncos 6-3. And I have to say one thing, Mark, as far as the Bears offense, they only have 6 points, but they're looking a lot better moving the ball. Their balance is better, and they've outgained the Broncos passing and rushing so far.
Yeah, a couple of things that they've done. Number one, you mentioned the balance. I think that's big for the Bears. Getting that running game going, making sure you don't get away from it, even if it's only a 2 or 3 yard gain, giving some opportunities there. And that's getting your quarterback into a flow. You're really playing to his strengths, giving him an opportunity to move around in the pocket, dump it off to the running backs, create some screens, and keep those chains moving, which has led to 6 points on 2 field goals.
Last one being a 52-yarder, and we're underway for the second half. And the Bears getting the ball first as we check in with Jen Hale.
Vic Fangio obviously upset with his squad about all those penalties, especially the offensive holding ones. Meanwhile, Matt Nagy is on the same page as Stink. He is determined to stick with the run and be consistent with it this half, even though it hasn't produced the results he hoped. So far, Eddie Pinheiro, the kicker, is the only Bears player to score this season. Now, of course, he also told me they are prepared for Vic Fangio to throw some exotic looks at them defensively this half, so he's expecting it to get fun, Dick.
All right, Jen, so the best is yet to come, perhaps. First down on the 25. Trubisky gets time, goes underneath, and he has Allen Robinson. The flag is down with the completion to the 30.
Illegal use of the hands, offense, number 72. 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
So the Bears left tackle gets into the act penalty-wise. Charles Leno on that one.
It's a bad day to wear 72, Dick. I mean, apparently the refs have got it out for anybody in 72. Yeah, anytime, you know, and this happens to you as an offensive lineman, sometimes your hands slip up, you get them in the face mask of a guy, it's hard to get him out of there, and it's so easy for the officials to see that on the edge for the tackles.
On 1st and 20. Montgomery. He's showing some flashes today as he gets out to the 21-yard line. 6-yard pickup. So Chubb and Miller, the 1-2 punch defensively.
Watch Chubb here set this edge and use a one arm there to hold the tackle at bay. Watch him. Outside the edge is set, one arm right there. Now get off. Use a swim move, almost a pass rush move, getting off there to limit that run and put them in a 2nd down and long situation.
Mike Davis in at running back right now. Trubisky surveying the field and throws low to Davis. Penalty flag down at the top of your picture.
Before the pass, holding, defense, number 95. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Second penalty on Derek Wolfe today and an automatic first down. So the Bears not mustering much against the Green Bay Packers in the opening game at Soldier Field. Much better today to this point, but it is still 6-3, and the Bears are still looking for their first touchdown of the season. First 10 and 10. They had a 1st and 20 after the penalty. Here's the pitch to Tariq Cohen. Another flag down as Cohen is pushed out of bounds near the line of scrimmage. So we've already had 3 penalties called and less than 2 minutes gone by.
Holding, offense, number 72. 10-yard penalty. Remains first down.
They're on this number 72 kick for sure, Mark.
I would change my jersey. I'm like, hey, what numbers right now are available? Because I don't want anything to do with 72.
Comical.
I'm telling you what. Here he is right here, left tackle. Let's just check him out. See exactly what happens here. He gets down. Oh, yeah. Now that's a hook, and it's away, and that was something they used to not call away from the football, but they made a point of emphasis to call that now.
On the play fake on the screen. Dangerous situation coming up here. Montgomery was the intended receiver. but storming in was Kareem Jackson of the Broncos. Too many people in a crowd could have really backfired on Chicago.
And that's one where you tell your quarterback, listen, whatever you do, do not throw this over here into a team meeting. This is like a Broncos team meeting over here. 1, 2, 3, 4 guys. Oh, I mean, Kareem Jackson was going to take that to the house. He was just not expecting that ball to come out right there. You cannot make that throw. Mitch Trubisky got away with one there.
Second down and 20. Trubisky 9 of 15 for 82 yards. And the wide receiver screen to Tariq Cohen, giving ground, in trouble here. And the Broncos are going to get him inside the 10-yard line. Good pursuit that time by Kareem Jackson and Isaac Yiadom. And a loss of 9.
Well, on those tear screens, those bubble screens, you want to come in and then get up the field because all your offensive line are going out that way to kick out, and you want to tear that back into the middle of the field. But that's one where it's better just to go ahead and take a 1 or 2 yard gain than to do all that running and put yourself into harm's way and your offense into harm's way.
Not much you can do here. It's a 3-man rush against Trubisky, and they pass underneath to Shaheen. Shaheen, by the way, with 3 catches as he's ridden out of bounds. Right now is the leading receiver for the Bears, strangely enough.
Yeah, now that was like the offense last week from the Bears. They were 3rd and 29. They had a first and 40 or something in that game last week. So, I mean, there is no offensive call for that. Your offensive call when you're 3rd and 29 is pray on 2, pray on 2, ready, break.
Pat O'Donnell, who had a career-long 75-yard punt in the first half. And another great punt. Spencer there, another penalty flag down at the 25. Here's Spencer returning, giving ground, and then going to the ground inside the 25-yard line. Good special teams pursuit by the Bears. And a penalty flag is down. That was Iggy, the guy they called Joel Iggy. Iwebuniwe.
Yeah.
During the kick, holding against the receiving team, number 36. That 10-yard penalty would be enforced from the end of the kick. First down, Denver, timeout.
All I have to say is hallelujah, it wasn't on 72.
Breathing easier, those 72 wearers. Trey Marshall.
Can they get the running game going, Dick?
Comparing the two quarterbacks, almost similar. Joe Flacco completed his first 10 passes in this game. Neither one is at 100 yet. And the Broncos with their second worst starting field position, the 15, and the handoff is to Phillip Lindsay. There's a way to get out of trouble, and Lindsay close to the first down, will be about a half a yard short. Smith and Trevathan.
Big stretch play to the outside right here, and nice job getting your foot, sticking to the ground right here. Look at that hole. Now watch, put your foot in the ground, get up and down. That's what you want. Get up that field, stick it in the ground, and then go punish people. One thing that Phillip Lindsay probably doesn't get enough credit for is for the actual power runner he is at 190 pounds.
48 rushing yards for the Broncos. Second down and 1. Here's Lindsay again. First down for him. As he gets out to the 26, Eddie Goldman brings him down. Lindsay and Freeman have shared the running back chores today and are just about equal in the number of carries and yardage gained.
Broncos at the line of scrimmage, not hurry up, but just a no-huddle offense right now, making sure there's no rotation by the defensive players. Let's keep them on the field. The altitude is still effective, and we're only down by 3 right now.
First down, and the pass is caught by Hireman, and the tight end will be about 2.5 yards short of the first down as Danny Trevathan brings him down. A 7-yard pickup here.
Hireman just hooking up in the zone right there. The quick passing game, get Joe Flacco in that rhythm, make sure, and again, the no huddle, not hurry up, no huddle, no rotation. Let's keep these guys on the field, wear them out.
Flacco looking right, going left, getting pressure, pass complete, and it looks like forward progress to Noah Fant will be enough for the first down. rookie from Iowa, who struggled in the first game against Oakland. And it'll be a first down for Denver, slowly moving, started from the 15.
And now they huddled up, but how quick were Joe Flacco's eyes there? He didn't see what he liked on the front side. He took his drop, boom, didn't see the front side to the right, turned automatically and just fired a bullet to Noah Fant for the first down.
From the 37, and the quick to Lindsey. And Lindsey gets put down and put down hard on a terrific play by Leonard Floyd. Right there, no chance and no gain.
And this is where you get into Fant right here and you say, hey, listen, Fant, you're a rookie. Go ahead and make a play, get a block, because that's the kind of thing that gets guys hurt. That was a beautiful stick by Leonard Floyd right there on the running back, number 30, Philip Lindsay. That's a big time hit. Rookie, we need you to get in there and mix it up a little bit.
Led the Bears with 2 sacks in week 1, second down and 10. Freeman now is the running back. And the pass up the middle, and it's caught, and a beautiful catch by Emmanuel Sanders. Sanders likes the cleats, likes the field, and is producing today. His 7th reception, good for 21 yards.
Oh, right here in the middle, and you got one-on-one with Kyle Fuller. Going to get an inside release right here. Look at Kyle Fuller running. Single high safety in the middle, and look at the stretch right there by Emmanuel Sanders. Beautiful phone ball by Joe Flacco. Looked like Kyle thought that was a zone concept right there, but he was man-to-man with a single high safety in the middle of the football field.
21-yard gain. That's the longest gain from scrimmage today, and not this time, as coming in Lynch throws Freeman for a loss on the play. Let's check in with Jen Hale with an injury update. Jen.
Dick, this Bears defense is a bit short-handed now. Defensive tackle Bilal Nichols is out for the rest of this game with a hand injury. He's back in the locker room. And that comes as many of the players trying on some oxygen, seeking shade underneath these sunscreens. The Broncos' plan was to wear them down in this altitude. Something to watch. See if they'll be successful this third and fourth quarter.
All right, Jen. And Nichols, of course, had a knee problem during the week, which hampered him. Now we have a 2nd and 13. Long yardage for Flacco. Here's Lindsey going the other way. And doesn't look like he's going to outrace too many of the Bears' defense. Irving and Goldman. No, now it'll be 3rd and long. You wonder what it's going to take to get a touchdown for either one of these teams in this game.
Well, I know one thing, going east and west in the running game against this Bears with just the gifted linebackers and the speed of this defense overall is not a recipe for long-term success.
3rd and 12 at the 44 of the Bears. And here's Flacco going deep and throwing the ball incomplete, out of bounds. Cortland Sutton, and there's a flag down. Back at the line of scrimmage. Sutton targeted for only the 2nd time today. No catches.
Holding offense, number 72. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
So the holding penalty, 4th of the game against Garrett Bowles, declined, and the Broncos will punt.
Here's the problem. When you get here, if you go this way, you give a two different way angle. So he always gets side to side. You see how his shoulders open up right there? And then he just grabs on. And you know, you can't shake your head. You do it all the time. It's the set that ends up getting you in trouble. More holding calls than they have points right now for Garrett Bowles.
Tariq Cohen will let this ball sail, and it goes into the end zone for a touchback. And the Bears will take it out at the 20-yard line. Don't wear number 72. That's the lesson for game 3.
That is a good lesson. Tough day for Garrett Bowles, left tackle of the Denver Broncos. 4 holding penalties called, most since 2014. That was Giants offensive lineman Will Beatty. And if you keep holding like that, you're not going to Beatty here much longer. I'll tell you that.
Nice play on words. Handoff on 1st down to Montgomery. And he gets a 1st down out to the 32-yard line. So a gain of 12 on 1st down for the Bears. The offensive line has done a good job. They have not allowed a sack after 5 sacks by the Packers last week.
And the Packers did a really good job of attacking their protections, but a lot of that is because, well, Matt Nagy, the head coach, just refused to run the ball. Only 4 carries in the second half, and he said, well, some of them were RPOs. Now, I think to myself, have you ever met a quarterback that you give the RPO option, the run pass option, that doesn't want to throw the ball? Like, you've got to call the runs. He's doing a much better job keeping it balanced here this afternoon.
On first down, and here's Cordero Patterson. Patterson, who's got that speed, and Patterson will give the Bears great penetration deep inside. Cordero Patterson with a big run here. So after the 12-yarder by David Montgomery, 46-yard run by Patterson, the longest play from scrimmage today.
Yeah, in the backfield as a tailback. He did this in his time with New England, and he's just one of those guys that's incredibly skilled. Great returner, has great speed at 230. He can run the short yardage game, and you see he still has the speed to get outside. And I mean, big time play right there, and a big time explosive play.
And he looks like a tight end.
He does. He's packed on a few pounds.
First down on the 22, and Montgomery edges his way inside the 20 on first down.
And here's one of the things. Now that they have Trey Burton back, and Trey Burton is a calming force at the tight end. Hasn't had a lot of production today, but he's a guy that keeps Mitch Trubisky in line. Former quarterback in high school, in college. They speak the same language, and it opens up the play and Matt Nagy to use Patterson in more of a gadget kind of scenario, and that's one of the things they wanted to do today.
Oddly enough, Shaheen and Braunnecker lead with a combination of 5 receptions apiece, the backup tight ends, with Burton back. There he is. Cordero Patterson again, and this time they're going to flip it over to Gabriel. Gabriel will have a first down, so kind of a jet sweep play by the Bears. First time they've run that today, and they will have a first down and goal after the 14-yard play.
And that's just misdirection. You're going to see the fake pitch. It looks like it's going to go to Patterson, and then here comes Gabriel around, and this is one thing that little cat can do. He can flat run. He's always
62
been,
has reported eligible.
He's always been great in the gadget game, the jet sweep game, east and west game. And he's so small. I mean, he's one of those guys that can really hide back there as well as they get ready here on the goal line, first and goal.
On the 5-yard line, and Montgomery spinning his way down to the 3 on first down. Bears with the best situation either team has had from getting into the end zone here. It'll be second down and goal.
And this happened to the Broncos last week against the Raiders. The Raiders got into the red zone 4 times. They scored on 3 possessions, and they really were able to kind of mosh pit it down there. Just let their running back plow in there, get 2-3 yards at a time. We'll see if they use the same tactic here.
Bears are averaging 7 yards a rush. It'll be second down and goal. And Montgomery stopped. Good play interior line by the Broncos, and that will bring up third and goal. Fighting the altitude, the Bears have had a 16-minute edge in time of possession over the Broncos to this point.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, I love it. I love it right now. Let's keep pounding them. Let's keep wearing them down. Let's keep this defense. Let's use the altitude against the home team as opposed to what they were trying to do to us. That's the Chicago Bears mantra right now.
Third and goal, Mike Davis is in. Trubisky, nothing right. And his pass is down. There's a flag down. Burton was the intended receiver, and Will Parks was there, and Parks was not playing the ball.
Before the pass, holding defense. Number 26, half the distance to the goal from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Isaac Yiadom. Another penalty, and it'll be first and goal. They're going to put it down at the 2-yard line.
Correction. The number was 25 on the defensive hold. 25.
So it's not Yiadom, but Harris in the correction by Adrian Hill, the referee.
Right here, one-on-one, you got Chris Harris Jr., and you see the hands out there. It's contagious, people. Holding is contagious.
First and goal, and Montgomery's going to get hit. May have lost a yard. Bradley Chubb having a terrific game. No sacks, but playing the run beautifully.
That's just selling out down the edge. Keep the shoulders square. You know what's coming. And I'm telling you, if I'm the Bears and I'm Matt Nagy, I'm just saying, hey guys, it's on you big fellas up front. You didn't play well last week. I'll give you 3 cracks at it right now. Let's see what you can get done.
2nd and goal. They go again to Montgomery, and Montgomery slithers his way close to the goal line. Doesn't get in, however. Stopped at the 1-yard line. Amazing how he got in that close, the rookie from Iowa State. And now 3rd down and goal coming up.
And Burton's coming across in motion right here. That exchange is bad. We're lucky there's not a fumble. The Bears are lucky there's not a fumble right there as the Broncos stop that one. And again, I'm putting it on my big fellas up front. Guys, I like right here. Let's get behind them. Let's go. Let's run.
And Montgomery, touchdown. Leaped, and the ball apparently to the judge on the near side, crossed the plane. And as you know, all scores are reviewed in a booth review situation. And this one I want to see again.
Just got to look down the line.
I'm
right
not so
here.
sure.
Montgomery, as he leaps right here from about the 2, there's the ball. Does it cross the plane right there? Boy, I tell you what. Now,
they rule it a touchdown, so you have to say there's enough video evidence to overturn the call of a TD.
Right, I don't think there's any indisputable evidence. I think that ball, and remember, it doesn't have to go all the way into the end zone. It just has to just touch a blade of grass that's painted white, and that thing is a touchdown.
And it is a touchdown. Pinheiro with the extra point, and the kick is good. He just got the edge of that football on that line, and the Bears finally break the touchdown drought, and it was all this play. Patterson with the big run,
Ended
46 yards.
with Montgomery tickling a blade of grass as he gets the ball just over.
Finally a touchdown, and the Bears get it and lead 13-3. 9 rushes, no passes, and what a difference a week makes for Matt Nagy and the play calling situation. And the Broncos will take it out at the 25-yard line. And Joe Flacco coming out to try to get his team back in it. In a play forever known as the Mile High Miracle, Joe Flacco completed this 70-yard bomb to Jacoby Jones to tie it up in regulation with 41 seconds remaining. The Baltimore Ravens went on to win in double overtime in this 2012 AFC Divisional and eventually became the Super Bowl champions. And Flacco has told us how tough it's been after the Baltimore problems last year, having to sit the last 6 games benched for Lamar Jackson. Something to prove and trying to start it out, and he does now with a completion to Noah Fant. Downfield, close to midfield, and a first down, and a big gain for the Broncos. He gets 24.
I think one of the things Joe Flacco is he comes back here. Joe Flacco does a nice job. Great protection here. Noah Fant on the out route, beautifully delivered, but just the feel and the passion, and you start to understand when you eventually get replaced because of injury and then they decide not to give you your job back, how much you love this game. He says he's kind of been rekindled on the love for the game because of what he went through last year.
From the 49, first down, and Flacco completes the pass to Sanders, and he'll get the first down and gets into Bears territory to the 39 and a gain of 12. So 7 Super Bowl MVP quarterbacks have changed teams, and Joe Flacco the latest, and Nick Foles as well, Jacksonville's quarterback before he got hurt.
Played with Mark Rippon there with the Washington Redskins, won that Super Bowl 26 MVP.
First down, and they go underneath, completing the pass and getting nearly 8 yards on the play as time runs out.
And that will be the end of the third quarter here at Mile High, the Broncos home opener, where they've won 7 in a row, but trailing here 13-3 to the Bears. And welcome back to Empower Field at Mile High here in Denver. Maybe not the smoothest of landings for one of the skydivers, but he got under the turf as well. And along with Mark Schlereth and Jen Hale, Dick Stockton, and it's a 13-3 game as the Bears get a touchdown and have a 10-point lead going into this fourth quarter. It'll be 2nd down and 3 on the 32 of Chicago. Here's Lindsey. Boy, ability to escape outside in a jiffy, gets the first down to the 25. Roquan Smith, first one in.
How about that pop out to the outside? Here's it again, Lindsey, right? I mean, that's setting the tone. Not only you pop it out to the outside, you bust one out there, but at the end of the run, it's not stepping out of bounds for Philip Lindsey. He's got that little guy, 190-pound attitude that says, I want to punish you. I'm going to punish you at the point of attack. So love that about him. He's a real tone setter for this offense.
32 yards on 10 carries. Freeman, the ball carrier here, head down inside the 20. Good gain on first down for Denver rushing. Smith again is in on the play, and a 6-yard pickup.
How about the Broncos? This is like a mirror image, right? Get down here. I mean, the Chicago Bears ran it, made some plays inside. Now the Broncos, oh yeah, you guys are going to run it? Let us run it down on your defensive line. Let's wear them out as well.
Total yardage virtually even. Broncos have done it through the air. Pass is incomplete. And a penalty flag down. It was intended for Noah Fant.
Guess who? That's going to be 72, grabbing Khalil Mack once again.
That'd be number 5.
Holding, offense, number 65. 10-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
But it's on Ron Leary, the right guard.
Thank goodness, because I mean, I don't know, maybe your head would have popped off, or mine would have, but it was definitely holding call there as well. Here's our right guard, but left tackle is holding on this play as well. So let's see, Ronald Leary on Hicks. But this is the one that I think probably maybe they just felt bad. I guess that's the one. They just called the wrong number. That should have been again on 72.
Trying to keep Khalil Mack out, not an easy chore. Certainly not for Bowles today. 2nd down and 14. And good rush in. Freeman, the intended receiver, and a flag goes down. And let's see if they call roughing the passer against the Bears. It was Eddie Goldman. Good interior rush that time against Joe Flacco.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense, number 91. Half the distance from goal to the previous spot.
Costly
Automatic
foul,
first
and Matt
down.
Nagy doesn't agree with it, and big penalty.
Yeah, I don't like taking contact out of a contact sport. You're legislating it out. Did you drive with your full body weight? Now we've got the subjective nature of that. You don't know, as you wrap that guy up, if he still has the ball or not. I just don't know what you want these guys to do. And if you don't wrap them up and they spin out, then you're the guy in the meeting getting chewed out. I agree with Matt Nagy. I think it's a garbage call, but that's the world we live in today.
First down on the 15 for the Broncos. Trailing by 10. Flacco and incomplete. Trying to get it to Hireman, the tight end. Well covered downfield. Time for a game break. And let's check in with Kurt Menefee. Kurt.
All right, like your game, the Rams and Saints were 6-3 at halftime. But here's a touchdown. Todd Gurley with a little 4-yard score, and that touchdown is the difference right now. Rams on top 13-6, about 5.5 left to go in the third quarter. Dick and Mark?
All right, Kurt. And of course, a healthy Todd Gurley means the world to the Rams.
Yeah, he is. That don't be fooled by that offense. They want to bludgeon you with that running game in Todd Gurley.
2nd down and 10. Flacco getting rid of it to closest receiver was Freeman, the running back.
And this is where we get you know, so enamored with Khalil Mack and the athleticism, but just watch him down here. His ability to read. He smells something right here. He stops the pass rush. He knows the screen's coming.
Got a hand on it.
Got his hand on it right there. You saw Roquan Smith, who's an absolute bullet, out there as well, defending the screen. I mean, they sniffed that one out before it even happened.
So now 3rd down and 10. Broncos have to get to the 5 for the first down. Flacco's pass, and again, the Bears got their hands in on the passer, and the pass is well off the mark. Incomplete, 4th down, and the field goal team comes on. And Mack has been like a one-man wrecking crew, especially in the second half for the Bears. No surprise there.
Well, that's who he is. I mean, this guy at the point of attack, so strong, so physical, so quick. He's got to feel like he's been to the prom today, though, with the amount of holding they've been doing here as an offensive line in general.
32-yard attempt coming up for McManus, and that kick is good. So the Denver Broncos started the game with a field goal, punted their next 5 possessions, and a field goal here brings them to within 13-6.
Well, 52, Khalil Mack. This guy will blow up your offensive structure, and his ability not only to be physical, but his smarts, his acumen, that's what sets him apart.
Bears now lead 13-6. Von Miller still looking for his first sack of the season, and that was a 9-play, 61-yard drive. McManus with his second field goal in as many tries, and the Bears will come out to the 25. Well, America's favorite guessing game is back. Don't miss The Masked Singer. Premiere Wednesday, September 25th, and get a preview of Season 2 clues and costumes on The Masked Singer Super Sneak Peek tonight after the game right here on Fox. You try it.
I tell you what, I took my granddaughter Quinny to The Masked Singer. Ken Jeong gave us an opportunity to come in there and watch it, and we sat there for 6 hours watching that taping, and she was locked in. Her favorite show. Can't wait to sit and watch as Season 2 unfolds.
From the 25, here's Davis. Picks up a couple on first down.
Those pads still popping. You can hear it from up here in the booth. These two defenses, both proud defenses, and I'm telling you what, they're not afraid to shorten a few necks out there. There's no question about that. They will hit you.
And they've outgained the Broncos rushing by a wide margin, as the Broncos have outgained Matt Nagy's Bears by a healthy margin as well. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Robinson coming close to the line to the bottom. Trubisky, and pass is incomplete, off the hands of Braunecker and defended by Justin Simmons. Braunecker was looking for a pass interference call on that, none coming, and it brings up 3rd and 8.
Just got the crossing route, and I'm telling you, Justin Simmons, watch his hands, watch his ability to subtly grab his right hand around the hip there, but pull himself through and knock that ball. That's the second great play he's made, and that hand was not tugging on the hip of the receiver to get his hand around there. Remember, the first half, he knocked one down from Tariq Cohen as well.
3rd and 8. Here comes the blitz from the secondary, and the quick pass off the hands of Trey Burton, incomplete. First time they've gone to Burton as a receiver, and good pressure that time by Justin Simmons on the safety blitz, and it brings up 4th down.
Well, he comes from off the screen. There he is, popping in the screen right here, putting a little bit of pressure to make Trubisky just throw that ball a hair before he wanted to get that out, which created the inaccurate throw to Burton.
So a quick, solid job by the Denver defense. And O'Donnell will be kicking to Spencer. Still early in this 4th quarter. Fair catch, and Spencer makes it at the 24. So the Denver Broncos defense does its job. And now the the Bears defense, I should say, and now the Broncos coming back to see what they can do. They got 3 the last time out. Khalil Mack is going to sit out this play. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 24-yard line. Broncos trailing by touchdowns. Still very early in the 4th quarter. Here is Philip Lindsay. And Lindsay gets hit and goes out of bounds after a gain of 1. Kyle Fuller.
Well, let me tell you what, this defense, they are nasty, and they will hit you. Eddie Jackson coming up right there. Khalil Mack off the edge, one-on-one with the tight end. Don't do it. How about Floyd? Bam! Right there at the point of attack. Aaron Lynch, go ahead and get involved. This is like a party at the Delta House. Everybody's invited, and everybody's showing up. That's the Chicago Bears.
2nd down and 8. Flacco's going to take off and going to be taken down. And it's Nick Williams who makes the tackle, and Khalil Mack, after staying on the sidelines for the first 2 plays in favor of Aaron Lynch, comes back into the game.
Well, Nick Williams here, and he's just at the line of scrimmage against the rookie Dalton Reisner. Comes off. Now that's obviously not Joe Flacco's strong suit. Khalil celebrated though, right? And the Broncos are just thankful. You know, they'd love him. Oh, he's back on the field now.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah. He's got to play.
Yeah.
2nd sack of the game for the Bears. Brings up 3rd down and 9. And Flacco in traffic. And the pass is going to be caught. And let's see if it's enough for the 1st down. And it's Cortland Sutton. And for Cortland Sutton, that's his first catch of the game. He gets 10 yards and a 1st down. That was a clutch throw and a clutch catch right there.
Yeah, here he is right here. Watch him. And I love this. He's going to press up right there now. Come back to the ball. But you see, he's got it right there. But I love the awareness. Pop back up. Make sure you have that 1st down. But that's a 10-yard route. He runs it at 14, comes back to 12 to make the catch.
Coming off the career game against Oakland. And here is Royce Freeman. Couple of yards. Time for the game break, and we have Kurt Menefee waiting for it. Kurt.
All right, after no touchdowns for quite a while, we've had 2 in 4.5 minutes by the Rams. This one from Jared Goff to Brandon Cooks, 2 yards on the score, and they've opened up a 14-point lead, but there's still more than a quarter left to go in their game with the Saints. Dick and Mark.
All right, Kurt, thank you very much. 2nd down and 7. And Flacco stepping up and gets hit as he throws a wobbler, and it's going to be caught by Fant. Fant makes the catch, and it'll be another 1st down. Penalty marker thrown as well at the 45.
Illegal use of the hands. Defense, number 20. That penalty's declined. The play results in a 1st down.
So they declined the penalty by Prince Amukamara, and it'll be a 10-yard play and a 1st down. The ball was tipped, deflected, and Fant, the rookie from Iowa, was there to make the play.
Well, the pressure. I mean, Goldman getting good pressure here on Flacco. And then it just is, he throws a flutter duck up, and I mean, thankfully, tight end comes away with it. Sometimes better be lucky than good.
From the 47, Lindsey as a blocker. And taken down after a gain of about 1.5 by Trevathan. So it'll be 2nd down and long coming up for the Broncos, trailing by a touchdown.
We talked about the former Bronco, Danny Trevathan, coming back. It always feels good when you come back. You can make a couple of plays against your former team because you still have friendships, deep ties over here in Denver, and you want to show out when you come back to your hometown.
2nd and 8, short drop by Flacco, and on the screen pass to Lindsey off his hands. So once again, 3rd and 8. Last time he had 3rd and long. He connected on the 1st down to Fant.
Got to be able to catch that.
Well, Peyton Manning visited here, of course, Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl 50 here, and won one with the Indianapolis Colts.
Look at him. That dude just exudes cool right there, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Peyton Manning, the sheriff.
Love to be in his shoes, wouldn't people? 3rd down and 8. Flacco completes the pass, but no 1st down. Deshaun Hamilton is stopped shy of the 1st down by Jackson and Screen.
I love that buster screen down here. Watch him come in high end zone here. Joe Flacco gonna throw the little stick or the little arrow route right there.
They're going for it. 4th down and 2 on the Bears 45. Flacco swings it out to Lindsey. He'll have the first down and goes out of bounds, but the Broncos have a first down at the 38-yard line of the Bears. Roquan Smith made the play, but not after 4-yard pickup here.
Well, Joe Flacco just so cool. Puts it, look at where the ball placement is. Right there between the 3 and the 0. In stride, your running back. Don't make him stop his feet. If he does, Roquan Smith makes that tackle. So that's ball placement right there. And that's guts by the head coach, Vic Fangio. They call it old school. That guy has got some guts. He's not afraid.
They mark it at the 41. Flacco comes out with it again, and the pass is caught by Royce Freeman. So now, this pass-happy team moving the ball and close to the first down. It is a first down, picking up 11 yards as Khalil Mack, who has sat out a few plays earlier in the series, now back on the sideline and taking deep breaths. The altitude may be affecting him.
Absolutely. The altitude, the way you're playing, the effort that you give certainly have an effect on Khalil Mack. You'd love to have him in at any down.
On the first down, here's Royce Freeman, finds a hole off the right side, and Royce Freeman with a first down close to the 15-yard line. Smith makes the stop, but not before a gain of 14. Mack will come back in the game, but the Broncos have momentum here.
And this getting off blocks, this is where it counts. This is why the altitude will get you in the end. Little double team right there. Nobody getting off the blocks on the inside. Royce Freeman attacking the speed of that defense right down the middle. Forget about the side-to-side stuff. Let's attack them down the middle so they can't beat us with that advantage of speed.
48 yards for Freeman. He's the rushing leader and gets the call again for the Broncos. Missing a tackle, and Freeman will have a first down. Another flag goes down as Freeman is stopped at the 3-yard line by Clinton-Dix. Another penalty. And I think the Bears defense is affected by what's going on here with this thin air.
Holding offense. Number 65, 10-yard penalty, remains second down.
So a big play of 13 yards is nullified by the Ron Leary penalty for holding.
Correction, first down.
Well, I will tell you this, though. I mean, here we are, right guard, right here, Ronald Leary. We'll see what he does coming off the ball up to the second level on Trevathan. And yes, absolutely. Get your hands on the outside, wrap up the defender. But we see the Chicago Bears, the altitude effect, being on the football field, not being able to get off blocks.
First and 14. And Sutton is there to make the catch inside the 5. Big catch by Cortland Sutton, who was ignored in the first half with only one target. He's come alive here in the fourth quarter. 16 yards.
Beautiful throw by Joe Flacco. Great, even better adjustment by Cortland Sutton as it was a little bit behind him. But the protection, I mean, as many holding calls, as many problems as we've had, the Broncos have had, the protection has been holding up right now with the Chicago Bears exhausted right now on the defensive side.
And Flacco is going to hand off to Lindsey, and Lindsey doesn't get much. Screen coming in from the secondary to make the tackle, and Flacco has thrown for 229 yards so far in this game. On 27 for 36 attempts, it'll be second and goal.
Using tempo at the line of scrimmage.
Broncos needing a touchdown, and here's Flacco getting it over to Emmanuel Sanders, and Sanders is put down, and Smith makes a touchdown-saving tackle right there against Emmanuel Sanders, holds him to 2 yards.
Roquan Smith just reads that from the start. He understands what's coming. You know, some people, they talk about flight, others, you know, some people talk about wings, other people just fly. That dude just straight up flies on the football field. The blitz, Eddie Jackson, here he comes from the inside.
And a big play here, third down and goal from the 2. The Broncos earlier went for it on fourth down at the 40. And here's the pass, and it's intercepted by Fuller. and out of bounds he goes. Kyle Fuller with the interception and the first takeaway of the year for the Chicago Bears, and couldn't come at a more opportune time. Fuller, who tied for the lead last year with 7 picks, going to his first Pro Bowl against Sanders, picks it off, and the Bears thwart the Broncos' attempt to tie the game. Kyle Fuller with a big interception, and now Matt Nagy calling the plays with 4:45 to go and a 7-point lead. First down at the 11-yard line. Montgomery up the middle for about 3.
All right, you watch this zone. They're just going to come. This is a standard operating procedure. They Zorro this between the 2 defensive backs right here. They exchange, and there it is, Fuller. Big-time players make big-time plays in big-time situations, and the Chicago Bears have big-time players on their football team.
And Mark, the Broncos went 84 yards on 16 plays, used up 8 minutes, converted a 4th and 2. And then when they got to the 2-yard line on 3rd and 2, Fuller intercepted the pass. It'll be 2nd and 6. Trubisky to throw, and it's caught by Robinson for the first down and out of bounds, covered well by Harris. So the Bears not content in just running the ball.
Yeah, that's just that's one-on-one out there. Chris Harris Jr. has shadowed. He shadowed him all day long. That is Robinson, and I'm telling you, that's about as tight as coverage as you can get. Wonderful throw by Trubisky, and there it is again. Trubisky in a rhythm, throwing the out right there. That's one of those things that they're hoping for in Chicago right now as he develops.
Robinson coming off a great game, only 2 catches. Harris has done the job, but that one was a key completion as Montgomery will chew up some clock. The Broncos and the Bears each have 3 timeouts remaining as we have under 4 minutes. And a timeout is called by Denver. They have 2 left. We'll take a timeout. Frustration for Joe Flacco. Oh, so close the last time. Of the early games, does Bill Belichick know what he's doing? Antonio Brown with a touchdown in his debut with the Patriots. And Dak Prescott leading the Dallas Cowboys. 3 touchdown passes with the win at Washington, their longtime rivals. And Jimmy Garoppolo coming back after that Achilles injury last year. 3 touchdown passes as the 49ers make it 2 in a row on the road.
Yeah, tore his ACL last year. Is coming back there, playing really well. 2 in a row for the San Francisco 49ers on the road.
2nd down and 8, play action. And it goes out to Burton, the tight end, who came back to play this week after the groin injury, and he was tackled by Harris. No gain on the play.
Timeout, Denver.
And the Broncos pick up their 2nd timeout. They have 1 remaining, and right now we can tell you that we'll be right back after this message from Hulu. Here it'll be 3rd down and 8. Broncos down to their last timeout. Mitch Trubisky has been very efficient today at quarterback, and he gets it in the hands of Robinson, but he's dragged down, and the Bears are going to have to kick. Justin Simmons playing a great all-round game for the Broncos, limits Robinson to 3 yards.
He has just been all over the football field, just right here, coming up as that 8th man in the box. He sees that coverage. He's man-to-man out there on the flat. Rolls out there. He's been a sure tackler. He's been a big hitter. He's broken up a couple of passes. Justin Simmons has had himself a game, and we'll see if they can capitalize on the other side and tie this thing up.
Matt O'Donnell will be kicking. Deontay Spencer back deep at the 21. Spencer finds running room, and a good gain from the punt return out to the 38-yard line. So that's where the Denver Broncos are going to go to work. They did everything on their last possession but finished the job. for Vic Fangio, still trailed by a touchdown, and a Bronco shaken up.
It's like Trey Marshall on the ground right now.
2:48 on the clock.
Casual. They're stretching out the calf right there, drinking water while they're stretching it out.
Interesting game that we've had today is they tend to marshal. And the Bears offense, as we talked about at halftime, even in a field goal game of 6-3, looking better. And they were able to get the touchdown, and the only touchdown in the game. And then, of course, a great defensive play. Like you said, big plays made by big people at the right time.
Right. How many times can you say you're watching a 13-6 game and it be thoroughly entertaining? These defenses, I mean, forget offense, forget about offense and everybody pays to see it. If you love defense, and why wouldn't you when you watch these two teams play, this is an entertaining game, and they have been outstanding on the defensive side of the ball, both teams. And
it's been grinded out football style. I mean, that's really
big hits, great defense,
about,
right? Run the ball. This is straight up, Matt Nagy was talking to us yesterday, talking about the fact that he's got a bunch of film from 1941, and he creates plays off that 19. They opened up the game Thursday night with what they called Mama Bear. Now, it was a fumble, and it could have been a big play, but it was straight out of a game from Chicago and Pittsburgh in 41.
He was sorry they called it that.
Yeah, you called that game, by the way.
I did.
41.
And I think you were my partner.
Yes, indeed.
There you go. 1st and 10. Flacco swings it out to Freeman. Freeman breaks the tackle, and finally Trevathan drives him out of bounds. So the Bears, in a rare exhibition, miss a tackle, and now the Broncos are in Bears territory at the 43-yard line, 1st down.
Oh, they're going to get the pick route right here. The tight end comes out, creates traffic, a natural pick, and you just flip it out there to the running back in the flat. Here you see all the traffic. Tight end, Freeman.
Eddie Jackson.
Nice job.
Eddie Jackson missed the tackle. So a gain of 19. 1st down at the 43 of the Bears. Flacco up the middle. And the pass is jarred loose. So Jackson comes right back and knocks the ball away from Sutton with a hard hit there.
Jackson must have heard you. He took umbrage with that. He missed the tackle. Well, you know what? I may miss a tackle, but I'm going to break up a pass right here. Beautiful throw right on the money to the receiver. Cortland Sutton. There's Jackson. Johnny on the spot. And Chuck Pagano, their defense coordinator, say, hey, listen, man, I coached in Baltimore. This guy reminds me of a young, now I'm going to say it, guys. It was Chuck Pagano said it, a young Ed Reed. That's how good Eddie Jackson is.
High praise indeed. Freeman goes to the top of your picture on 2nd down and 10 as a receiver. Getting hit from behind is Flacco, and that was Buster Screen, who has played a tremendously active game for the Bears, and he got behind Flacco and affected his throw.
Speak of it, right here, coming off the edge right here, that's having some guts right there. Pagano said, all right, you guys want to sit back there, try to throw the ball. We're a little bit tired up front as the defensive line. Let me bring some pressure from the secondary. Buster Screen gets in there, influences, and breaks up that throw.
3rd down and 10. Flacco, and the pass nearly intercepted by Leonard Floyd. And it looks like the Bears very nearly got a hand on that pass as it was thrown. And it was Screen who got to Flacco, who got rid of the ball. And Floyd made the play, bringing up 4th down and 10.
Well, he called it again. Pagano said, you know what, if it worked one time, let's bring it again from the same place. Here comes Buster Screen. Dips underneath the block, affects the throw with Joe Flacco.
It is 4th down and 10 at the 43-yard line of the Bears, and the Broncos will use their last timeout. They'll also have the clock stop at the 2-minute warning, but not if they don't get a 1st down here, depending on what they plan. 4th down and 10. Home opener for the Denver Broncos, who have won 7 straight and 17 of 18 here at their home at Mile High. They have not started a season 0-2 since 1999. And the Bears trying to win their first game of the year. The only back-to-back losses they suffered last year were against the Dolphins and the Patriots in week 6 and 7, and Matt Nagy's looking to avoid that, obviously.
Right. Well, here's my question. If you're Chuck Pagano, is the third time the charm? Can you bring pressure 3 times in a row? If you bring pressure, your thought process is you got to throw it quick, then we rally up and make a solid tackle. We'll see if he decides to bring Buster Screen one more time to make it 3 in a row.
4th down and 10. No timeouts remaining. And now the Bears call their first timeout. They wanted to see what they were lined up with and called their first timeout.
Yeah, and Buster Screen was coming again. They wanted to see it. They say, hey, let's see if 24 is coming off the edge again. Here he comes walking up. Buster Screen coming off the edge.
Deja vu.
Yeah. Well, I don't know why the Bears and the Bears, you know, why would you call a timeout in that situation? They probably just wanted to see. They probably just want to see what the Broncos were going to line up in there. But I will give you this, Chuck Pagano. You know what we call that? We just call that guts. Like, hey, man, we're just coming. We're bringing the pressure. I believe in my guys. And as a defensive player, you love that, Dick. You love the fact that my guy's gambling on me to make a play, so let me go out and make it.
Well, they got the timeout called, and we'll see whether Flacco can capitalize on it. Needs 10 yards. On 4th down, Flacco's pass, and it's caught and spinning around, and it may have the first down. Cortland Sutton looks like they have a first down. They do. The Broncos keep it going.
Man, Cortland Sutton coming up here. This is his second time. He just hooks up in front. Look at him fight for that first down. That ball certainly crossed over that line.
And the whistle blows.
This is the 2-minute warning.
2-minute warning. Last time the Broncos can stop the clock. They had a gift there when the Bears called their timeout, but Chicago was up by a touchdown. 2 minutes to go, no timeouts for the Broncos. Great finish coming up. We have 2 minutes remaining in regulation. Bears lead at 13-6. It's a 1st and 10 at the Chicago 33 for Joe Flacco. Leading a touchdown and nothing less. No timeouts remaining for the Broncos. Flacco swings it out, and breaking a tackle was Freeman, and stays in bounds, and the clock continues to run. Trevathan was there, 5-yard pickup. And the ball now at the 28.
Plenty of time, 1:40 and counting.
Flacco goes underneath again, and this time going out of bounds is Deshaun Hamilton. And it's a first down for the Broncos inside the Bears 20.
All right. Freeman right here. Watch him from a pass protection standpoint because they're bringing pressure. Roquan Smith gets him on the legs, gets him on the ground. Joe Flacco has plenty of space around him to deliver a strike. That's what you ask your running back to do. Go up there, meet the linebacker at the point, at the blitz point in the line of scrimmage.
We got 9 yards that time. First down, and Flacco now has to change direction. And Lindsey was his closest receiver. Stops the clock with 1:27. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
It's not the worst thing, right? Stop the clock, regroup, get into the huddle, settle the guys down. Obviously in 4-down territory, you have to have the touchdown here. And I like the pace right now. Clock stop, you feel comfortable. Let's get the line of scrimmage, diagnose what's going on, and run our play.
2nd and 10, and Lindsey going in motion. Flacco up the middle, and the pass is caught by Sanders. Clock continues to run. Lining up in a hurry. The ball is at the 11-yard line after the pickup of 7. Call it the 12-yard line. 3rd down and 3. Flacco to the outside and knocked away. Lindsey was hit by Eddie Jackson, who came in, and that almost looked like a similar play to the one where Kyle Fuller made the interception.
Eddie Jackson coming out there, the buzz player, sees the running back. Ooh! That's dispensing justice right there, getting it done. Eddie Jackson just from the neck up, a football player, and I'm telling you, physical at the point of attack.
So we're going to have 4th down and 3. The Broncos are 2 for 2 on 4th down conversions today. They need 3 yards to keep it going.
Timeout, Chicago.
And the Bears
second. This will be
use another timeout. Last time that Flacco got oh so close and needed the touchdown. That pass off the hands of Sanders and an interception by Kyle Fuller, the first takeaway by the Bears, who led the league with 36 a year ago, their first of this year.
Call that a slant drag pattern, and the DBs were in Zorro, meaning they're just zoning that thing off, and Kyle Fuller making a big time play. Now this is one of those situations, Chicago Bears take that timeout, call that in the league a Polaroid timeout. I want to get a look at what personnel group they're in, what formation they're in, so I can have the best defensive call possible.
4th down and 3. Khalil Mack is in the game. Here comes pressure on Flacco, and the pass is going to be caught, and it's going to be 1st down by forward progress to Cortland Sutton at the 8-yard line. Can't stop the clock. 50 seconds remaining. Regulation.
Just an in-cutting route right here. This is man-to-man defenses. Chicago brought the pressure. Cortland Sutton bodying it up, keeping the body in front of the DB.
1st and goal at the 7. Flacco into the end zone. Sanders is there. Touchdown, Denver. They'll review it. 1. Did the knee hit before the second foot came down?
Well, it's
Great catch.
a knee equals 2 feet. That is a touchdown right there in the field of play.
And blanketed by Fuller.
Wonderful coverage. Speaking of big-time players, making big-time plays in big-time situations. How about the throw by Flacco and the concentration by Sanders?
We're loaded with big-time players in this one. 7-yard touchdown pass. And the Broncos apparently going for 2. Trailing 13-12. And the 2-point conversion coming up now with 31 seconds left. Not satisfied with just an extra point and possible overtime. Freeman in motion to the left. And a penalty flag down. And delay of the game penalty called against the Broncos.
Offense. Denver will have the option of replaying a 1-point try from the 7-yard,
they'll place it at the 7-yard line.
Or a 1-point try from the 20.
Well, now you have to come out with your field goal team, right? Yeah, here comes McManus.
Extra point, McManus to tie the game. Vic Fangio was going for the win, and then the delay of game penalty, which has really rankled Vic Fangio. So McManus will attempt the extra point with 31 seconds left to try to tie the game. 7-yard touchdown pass from Flacco to Emmanuel Sanders. And the kick is no good. Flag is down. So the Bears can't celebrate just yet.
Offside defense, number 24. Denver was elected to force the penalty half the distance to the goal from the 2-yard line to the 1-yard line.
Screen.
And will go for 2.
Buster Screen was offside. He had been a big hero in the last one. There it is.
Oh, it is. And he knows it too.
And Flacco is back out there, and the Broncos will go for the 2-point try. What a bizarre finish to this game. This is what the Broncos wanted to do before the delay of game penalty. The extra point by the normally reliable McManus was missed. Offside against the Bears. Another chance for Denver. 13-12. They need the 2-point conversion, and they get it to Emmanuel Sanders. And the Broncos lead it. Series of events in the last minute, and for a guy who had a lot to prove coming into Denver after sitting on the bench in Baltimore, has given his team a 1-point lead.
Well, here it is. Watch the release right here. Watch him shake down the defensive back, quick feet, stab it, break to the outside. Emmanuel Sanders couldn't keep his feet last week. You can't keep him down this week. Emmanuel Sanders, the hero on the 2-point conversion. Go ahead, soak it in, Emmanuel. You deserve it.
We go from one hero to another to another. Fuller to Screen, and then to Emmanuel Sanders with a 7-yard touchdown catch and the 2-point conversion reception. And now the Bears have 31 seconds to get into field goal range. Dean Blandino has been watching this at the edge of his chair. What's your feeling as what we've seen here, Dean?
I've been on the edge of my chair this entire game, Dick. But here's the thing. Interesting. You have a delay of game penalty against the Broncos. So we force that 5-yard penalty from either the 2 or the 15. So they elect to take it from the 15 and try the 1-point try. Then you have a 5-yard penalty against the Bears. Well, guess what? We can take that from the 2-yard line half the distance to the 1. Either try spot you can enforce from. So it's just an interesting way it turned out.
And time running out, but Trubisky completes the pass to Burton, who runs out of bounds in a hurry. 7 seconds, another Another penalty, 7 seconds used up there.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense. Number 55. That 15-yard penalty will be added to the result of the play. Automatic first down.
And a big break for the Bears, roughing the passer call.
Well, Bradley Chubb coming around the edge, gets the inside track. Now, I mean, okay, I guess we're going to legislate contact out of contact sport. And that's ridiculous. Chubb, you should be upset.
So the Bears still have 1 timeout remaining. We saw Eddie Pinheiro kick from 60 successfully in pregame warmups. And that's what that range is for if they have to do it from there. First down, but the clock, the big story. Here's Trubisky downfield, and the pass incomplete, intended for Robinson. And now 17 ticks on the clock.
Incomplete, stop the clock, gather yourself together. You have to have a calming force in that huddle. Mitch Trubisky has got to be that guy. Middle of the field is still open to you because you have that timeout, so you can throw it in the middle of the field here, Dick. Anything is open for the Chicago Bears offense.
And it's a good thing they saved the timeout for this possibility. 17 seconds left. Trubisky's pass, and it's knocked down. Good defensive play by Kareem Jackson. And now it'll be third down, but more important, 13 seconds.
There it is. That's who you're going to right here in the middle of the field. And that ball just behind your receiver, Robinson. You put that out on his front shoulder, and that's completion. Allows the defender to get his arm in there. Kareem Jackson breaking that up, number 22.
13 seconds to go. They have to get it to the 42 as you see that unofficial green line. Third down. They have 2 downs, but time is running out. And this pass incomplete off the hands of Tariq Cohen. And now only one chance for the Bears to get the ball within range for a possible long field goal.
Now your players in the huddle, you have to alert them. If you catch this in the middle of football field, get on the ground and call timeout, because the middle of the field is going to take 6 to 7 seconds.
And a flag is down first. Mark?
12 men in the huddle offense. 5-yard penalty remains.
Talk about costly penalties. 12 men in the huddle for the Bears, and they're going to mark it off 5 yards to the 40. You can't make this up.
No, you can't. And again, even if you complete one, you get one down there, you got to tell your receivers, hey, listen, unless you're wide open, nobody's within, 5 yards of you. Fall down, call that timeout, give ourselves a chance to kick a long field goal here.
But only 9 seconds remain.
Of course, you have to get the first down to have that opportunity.
And whatever they have to do it in a hurry. Trubisky can't find a receiver and fires, and the pass is caught, and down he goes, as you said. Robinson goes down, and the clock has zeros showing right now. Trubisky saying he called the timeout when Robinson hit the ground immediately, but the clock has no time remaining.
It looked like when he was on the ground there was 1 second left as the officials huddle up to discuss it. When he went to the ground, there was 1 second on the clock.
There was 1 second remaining on the clock. And Chicago called timeout, their third and final of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Allen Robinson followed Mark Schlereth's idea, get to the ground in a hurry, and Mark knew there was 1 second left, and that's what they've got.
Well, Mitch Trubisky first, let's give it to him. He's buying time right here. He climbs the pocket, which always affects the defense. He finds his receiver. Now look, get down, call your timeout. Now let's watch Trubisky in the background.
He's calling timeout on the far right, but the timeout had to be called by then anyway, which it was. So this will be a 53-yard field goal. Made one from 52. This is for the game. And the kick by Pinheiro is good. It's good, and the Bears win it.
This is the end.
In one of the most dramatic finishes you'll ever see, the Chicago Bears beat the Broncos 16-14 on a 53-yard field goal by Eddie Pinheiro, perfect on the day, after it looked like the Broncos had sealed it with a touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
And Eddie Pinheiro, the drinks are on Chicago. The hero, somebody you struggled with as a franchise for some time now. Pinheiro comes in and saves the day.
And you had a great point about Trubisky buying time, but couldn't buy too much time because time was running out. Here it is again.
Just plant foot, and that wasn't a great snap. Unbelievable concentration by the kicker, as my friend Pat McAfee would say, for the brand.
So the Bears go 1-1 and win one where it's tough to win in Denver, and the Broncos are 0-2 for the first time since 1999. Celebration for the Chicago Bears. Well, they knew they had the kicker. That sealed it. And for Vic Fangio, heartbreak on the final three-pointer, and his former mentor Matt Nagy gets the win. Let's send you to Los Angeles now for the conclusion of the game between the Saints and the Rams. Joe Buck, Troy Aikman.